but you really need to do your research carefully. You cannot just say 60K Germany, 60K France, and all of a sudden, there you go. No, it's a little more subtle than that.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Tamu from Find a Job in Germany. Today I want to talk with my colleague Jörg about
how to find a job in Europe.
Very good, Jörg. What kind of countries did our coaches end up in the last years?
Exactly. So the reason why we're making this special episode more about neighboring countries of Germany in Europe is because you have to really, from a bird's eye view, understand the vast majority of our coachees from our coaching program end up finding a job in Germany. But it so happened over the years, we do have a couple of folks who also went to, for example, Finland, Sweden, the Netherlands,
Spain,
Ireland,
Austria,
and we have one in Portugal.
And Portugal. So quite a few countries.
It so happened that there was a spillover effect, as I like to call it. You apply for a lot of jobs, and every once in a while there are job openings which will not have a German location, or the company will be saying, hey, we're a German company, but we're hiring for this and that European country, or you may even be sending out an application to a Spanish company based in Spain, or a Portuguese company based in Portugal, or, I don't know, a company in Ireland. That is how that came into existence.
First of all, why do most of the people end up in Germany? Because our services are mainly based for Germany, and Germany is by far the biggest economy in Europe with the biggest job market.
Exactly.
And also with the best salaries among Europe, with a few other countries as well. Why is it possible for people in our program to move to the Netherlands as well, or to Sweden? Is the process the same, or what is happening?
When you compare these countries and the countries that we're mentioning, then you're also looking at societies, countries, governments which are rather pro-immigration. You would not be able to enter these countries unless there was legislation in place which would allow tech and IT professionals to simply be getting an offer and move there. For example, when you look at Portugal, there is a special program that the Portuguese government has set up. We have a C++ developer who's moving there. And that is why you're able to tell which countries are open for that kind of immigration and which are not. The UK, for example, which is no longer a part of the European Union, by the way, used to be more open towards internationals and foreign professionals, but they are more closed down now. That is legislation. That is what the governments, that the folks elect in these countries are responsible of. Germany is very much open towards immigration, and Germany is the biggest market, so to speak. When you compare the openings, you can also really see, okay, there's a lot more openings in Germany than, for example, the Netherlands. That's just a fact when you compare the size of the countries.
Exactly. Another thing is that if you compare those countries, the recruiting process itself is pretty similar. That is because the work culture is pretty similar. If you look over in Europe, if you compare the distance from Amsterdam, for example, to Berlin, Europe is not that big in size, so
exactly. Depending on which country you're from, you're going to find that Europe is a pretty small continent.
Exactly. So the recruiting process is similar, the working culture is similar. So, for example, the CV design we do also, of course, helps you to find jobs in other. The CV also works in other European countries. The interview training we do.
Definitely.
That also helps you to land jobs in other European countries. So
culturally, we will prepare you for any scenario which will be very compatible and similar to what a German outline or German setup would be about, what they would be requiring you here. I would even say if a Dutch interviewer from the Netherlands will be asking you questions, they might as well just be the same as if you're answering them for a German company. I would go as far as saying that.
Exactly. What is a bit different is the visa process. So that depends from country to country, and that can take a bit longer. So I remember one case from Spain last year, JavaScript full stack engineer who moved to, I think, Barcelona. That process took forever because the visa process in Spain, I don't know why, it took like 5-6 months, whereas the same process for Germany would have taken 4 or 6 weeks.
Exactly, and we can now tell and compare these countries so well simply because we've done this so often and such a long time now for folks out of different countries come to Germany, and we're able to now also compare how other regimes are dealing with it. And speaking of regimes, you want to consider other European countries as well in the event that you look at this from a long-term perspective and maybe as a workaround if you're still interested in finding a job in Germany. Because depending on the country we were talking about, that country may be participating in the blue card regime. What do I mean by that, blue card regime?
So yeah, the European Blue Card is the visa which you get in all European states. Of course, still the legislation is a bit depending on where is in which country you're working. So if you get a blue card in Lithuania, for example, you are not going to be, or in Latvia, you're not going to be able to move to Germany on that blue card. But what you can technically do once you've been on the blue card, I think for 2 years, you can then move to Germany and start looking for a job here. You still need to apply for a new blue card here in Germany once you've found a job, but you are technically allowed to enter Germany, to do a city registration here, and then start looking for a job.
It really depends on the country that is issuing the blue card, but in principle, you're able to move freely and also change jobs more freer than if you had not been issued that blue card. One important piece of information here, there's 2 European Union member countries which do not have a blue card, Ireland and Denmark. That is important. So if you are in those countries or you're targeting those countries, applying from those markets to come to Germany afterwards will be kind of like as if you were still in your home country, because you do not get to benefit from the blue card program.
Yeah.
But that's just for your information.
One last thing, salaries in different countries. What can we say about that?
In principle, salary is highly dependent on how Social Security runs and works in that country, also taxes. And there is a link that we can also share underneath this video, which is all about comparing different European countries with each other when it comes to salary, cost of living, Social Security, and taxes. You need to understand, though, that, for example, when you're comparing Austria and Germany, the tax base may be lower in Austria, but they are also paying you less. At the same time, things may be also cheaper. Housing and apartments in Vienna, for example, on average, is not as expensive as it is in Munich, which is just across the border. So you cannot really compare that as well. It's not like apples and oranges, I would say, but you really need to do your research carefully. You cannot just say 60K Germany, 60K France, and all of a sudden, there you go.
Yeah.
No, it's a little more subtle than that. And ideally, you can really make an informed decision by doing your research.
Exactly. Thanks for that. I think that already helped. Looking forward to see you soon. If you're interested to move to Europe or to Germany, watch our video training, which you find below this video. We do your get to know call with you, see if we can help you. And if we can help you, we do that. And you find a job in Europe, you come here, and then you can experience how it is to live in different
Travel the continent.
Or travel the continent. See you soon. Bye-bye.
All the best. Ciao, ciao.